Well, good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Wilmington Library staff, I'd like to welcome you to an evening with Al Roker. That's when you're supposed to, there we go. My name is Jamar. I'm the director of the library here, so which means I pay all the bills, get all the headaches, all the problems. But I get to have fun with you guys this evening. We're glad that you guys came out and decided to spend your Friday evening at the library. We've got a fun-filled night in store. The way this will work, we're going to have a 40-minute moderated conversation, and then there will be a book signing. We'll give it to with Mr. Roker, and then shortly after the book signing, after you get your book signed, you can get on the store to open it, sample some food, and so your signed book will be your entry ticket to get in. So, and everybody who's entered should have a book. So without further ado, I won't belabor. I won't waste. I'll redeem the time. I'd like to introduce the moderator of our conversation today, and his name is Justin Womack. He is the owner. Wait, don't come out yet. He's the owner of Oath 84. Mr. Womack is a nationally recognized corporate chef, and we're just so grateful that he's in the great city of Wilmington. He's the consummate professional. How many of you have been to Oath 84? Yeah. So you're in for a treat. They have a really good product, excellent, great food, great customer service. They're, everything is prepared to order. So now, Justin, you can come out. Justin Womack. Chef Justin. And then we have our distinguished guest from the Today Show, Craig Melvin. Al Roker. There we go. I got it right. And we've got Chef Courtney Roker. Give it up for Chef Courtney Roker as well. We need another chair. No. We'll get another chair. Hang on a second.
Oh boy, real. One thing, the other one, five. All right. Oh, button.
Dedicated on.
Yeah. Twice before that's your first rodeo? All right, well, welcome everybody. Thank you, Mr. Roker. Thank you, Chef, for being here in Wilmington, and allowing us to see what you produce in your cookbook. And we're looking forward to learning more about.
I think you have to hold it a little closer.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
I won't tell you what to do in the kitchen, but
all right, cool. So we're truly looking forward to it. Thank you everybody coming. We're looking forward to getting to experience, your journey through food, reading your cookbook, and understanding how important family and the connection that food brings to you is kind of a statement of what Oath 84 is as well. So it was an honor to be a part of this. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yep. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Let's see. Who am I?
Whoever does.
Do you know who I am? I'm and a third microphone. I'm Al Roker. I happen to be my most important job is I happen to be Courtney Roker Laga's dad.
Nice.
And thank you. And even more importantly, I happen to be her daughter's grandpa, Sky. So that's the best part. In fact, as somebody told me, if I had known they'd be this great, I would have had them first. And you are?
I'm Courtney Roker Laga. I'm a personal chef, recipe developer, content creator, and just a fabulous
Where are you personal chef at?
I work for a company called Tiny Spoon Chef, just putting the plug out there. Yeah.
So
There you go.
That's us. That's it.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. And you are?
So I'm Justin Womack. I'm the founder and chef of Oath 84. We have been in the city of Wilmington for the last 3 years. Prior to that, I was able to travel around the United States and open up almost 30 restaurants, from opening, repo, as far as helping them out. So I've been around for a little while, and it's just an honor to be back in Wilmington, Delaware, to be able to do it here. We're in the process of opening a new location right here next door, where we'll be, after this, have a chance to walk over and taste some of the food out of Chef's cookbook, but you'll be able to see the space. It'll be the first time viewing the space, and we're really excited about that. But yeah, so that's me.
All
That's
right.
me. All right.
Well, thanks for coming, everybody.
Drop
Really
the mic.
great. Have a nice drive safely.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. We have some questions that we have built out that we're gonna get to know a little bit more about the person we see on our TVs for pretty much a lot of years, a lot of days. So.
In other words, I'm very old.
No.
No, it's okay.
All right, so we'll start with so Ms. Roker, you have to be one of the most recognizable TV personalities in America. Everybody loves and thinks they know you because you've been in our homes for decades. Now we're going to cook what you tell us to. Could you ever have imagined to put a cookbook out with your daughter? Like, what's the feeling behind that?
Well, I've done a couple of cookbooks that were like from 30 years ago. So, it's nothing new, but when I did it back then, cookbooks, the format was you had the cookbook, and in the middle there were maybe 3 pages of pictures, maybe. Now, like you can see in this cookbook, and you'll see in most contemporary cookbooks, every recipe has a picture. So and by the way, creating, as you know, Chef, and my daughter, Courtney, who's worked at a couple of Michelin starred restaurants, creating recipes is a big deal. So Courtney said to me, hey, during the pandemic, you and Nick, my son, were cooking a lot, and people were saying, oh, you should have a cookbook. So you said...
Yeah, I didn't know you were putting it to me.
You're the only one up here, rather than the chef, and he doesn't know the story.
So yeah, during the pandemic, they were doing a show online, and it was just getting a lot of great feedback. And I just thought it'd be such a great project to do together. I've been cooking for about 14 years, not as long as you should have.
That was fine.
And I brought the idea to him, and he said no, to be honest. And it took some persuading, and he finally came around.
Yeah. How many of you have adult children? Okay. How many have you heard them constantly go, meh, 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 meh? So the only way to stop her from going, I finally said yes. But I said, since we want to do a family cookbook, I don't know about you, but my mom, my grandmom, Deborah's mom, nobody wrote anything down. I keep hearing from these families that have all these parents who folders and binders of recipes. I'm thinking, well, who are these people? So you had to become like a recipe detective.
Interview a lot of people, pretty much.
So to piggyback off of that, in the Gun magazine, he called you a recipe detective because the family recipe is not written down, type of thing. So where did you exactly pull all those in? Who did you call? How did you come up with this recipes?
I had to call my aunt, who I don't talk to a lot. Talk to her.
Wow, we're dropping a lot of stuff here. Hopefully none of my sisters see this.
My stepmom, my mother, my in-laws, and I had to go off what they remembered, which is very difficult because nothing was measured, right? And then I had to go off of my dad's memory with my grandmother. I had to go off of my memory with my grandmother. So it was a lot of testing recipes at least 5 or 6 times before it was what I thought was right.
And there were other recipes like from family and friends, like on the cover. That's my brother's shrimp and bacon, bacon wrapped shrimp. Kind of a weird surf and turf. So you had to do that. To kind of really. I mean, you were on people like white on rice.
So with that, like I was telling you upstairs, I'm admirable of you in other ways, but the connection to this cookbook as well is a Caribbean background, Caribbean roots. Me being from Trinidadian descent, me growing up seeing my grandmom, my mom, my aunties cooking, and that really inspired me to, stay in the kitchen and kind of give that feeling of like family. So it was about food, but it was about bringing people together. Can you lean into that and tell us how, that type of fun created in the kitchen made you stay into the world?
Well, look, my mother, my father's family's from the Bahamas. My mother is half Jamaican. And let's face it, so many recipes in this country. I mean, we through, the Great Middle Passage, we ran kitchens throughout, the South and the Mid-Atlantic and into New England. So our African heritage and cuisine became America's cuisine, really, when you think about it. So a lot of these recipes are hybrids of Caribbean cooking and African cooking and Southern cooking, and you really had to, navigate all that. And you would like to elaborate on that.
Well, most of the recipes.
She's very tired. She has a 15-month-old and worked. Oh, so we're going for the sympathy vote here.
No, most of the Caribbean recipes came from Nana.
Yes.
But I feel like you had more of a connection to those than I
Well,
did.
to a certain extent. I mean, because my grandmother, Ramilda Roker, was, again, very secretive because, I mean, she just was a secretive person to begin with. She just, like when one time we went in, she had up until like the late 70s, she had a coal-fired furnace. She would shovel coal. And we had sent her to the Bahamas for a vacation and decided to go in and take out the coal furnace and put in, a new gas furnace and the whole 9 yards. Well, when she got home, she was so furious that she changed the locks and the phone number. And I mean, my father had to literally like beg her to, so anyway, I digress. But that's, so she wasn't about to give up a recipe. So, I just had to literally go from what I remember, eating and describing it to you. And then and like she'd say, how about this? How about this? And actually you were very good at, coming up with stuff. I would have taken me far longer than it did you.
Thanks.
So Courtney, Chef, how long have you been working on this book?
Ooh, 2 years?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
I started 6 months
After.
before they even we signed any contract.
Okay.
Because I was like, this is just going to take forever. I'm very particular about stuff. So about 2 years and some months.
And the other thing was, in the middle of this, she was also pregnant. So she basically birthed the baby in a book, which was easier.
I don't know.
All right,
Once the book comes out, it's done.
Yeah.
You're stuck now for the rest of your life with it.
the book is out. Everybody will see some really good stories behind it, but I want to kind of jump into the story behind the dishes that we're going to taste tonight. I know that, like I said, it's kind of displayed in there once you read it, but to get it exactly from the chef, a different perspective of where you kind of pull those recipes from and where you kind of felt good about them. So we can start with the drink. The first thing we'll taste tonight is the ginger lemon tea.
So some of these recipes in here are very specific. Like I said, things that my grandmother cooked, my mom cooks, all that stuff like that. But with the iced tea, some of them are recipes that my dad, I see him drinking or eating when I was growing up. So I always saw him with drinking iced tea.
Yep.
And always eating ginger.
Yes.
I think there was like a year where you were eating ginger, raw ginger every day.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I just lost my mind. I figured, there's ginger ale. I thought, let me just cut out the ale part. So much more efficient. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these, what Courtney did, and it's funny too, because much like myself, I grew up watching my mother cook, and probably most of you did too, not watching my mother cook, but your mother. And like I remember doing homework in the kitchen while my mother was cooking, and just by osmosis absorbing these things. And you used to hang out in the kitchen, but both of us, neither one of us, I think, thought we were going to have a career in food.
No. I wanted to be a singer and do Broadway, but that didn't work out. So
Well, it's just that you didn't really pursue it.
Right,
And
right,
she's got a
right.
very good voice. In fact, just a little digression. A friend through the Today Show. The only reason I know people are two things: either the Today Show or my wife Deborah. And on this one day, for my 50th birthday, Deborah worked through somebody at the Today Show, and Tony Bennett dropped by to sing a few songs. Very nice. It was just the sweetest thing. But Courtney opened up for Tony Bennett. She sang a song before Tony Bennett, so she can always say that
On
she
my
opened.
resume.
It's on her.
Yeah.
She opened for Tony Bennett. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, but she did not leave her heart in San Francisco. So anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. So that's
It's
worked
fine.
out pretty well.
It's fine. So with the many things that you've done, being an anchor, being the world's weatherman, how do you find time to go into being a cook? And outside of that, like, what would you say is your true passion? You know, in your age and things that you've done, what would you say is your true passion? As far as me, I found my passion in food. And it's hard for me to get past anything other than food, to be honest, right? So with all the things you've accomplished, what would you say is your most passionate thing?
Well, look, without being, I mean, I really, one of the things, I'm the oldest of six, and three of us are biological, three of us are adopted, and I watched my parents parent, and while they weren't perfect, I think they did a pretty good job, and so I think being a parent is, something that I don't know if I'd say it's my passion, but it's my life. They are everything. They make your life worthwhile, and hopefully, when you're not able to take care of yourself, which could be in about 3 weeks,
No.
they're there. And by the way, I will say, I was coming up on 2 years now. I was extremely ill. And
During this whole cookbook, it was super stressful because he was ill, and
Yeah.
I think I thought about not doing it.
yeah, in fact, as one of the people you had here earlier, Craig Melvin, said Al Roker was in heaven's waiting room.
Wow.
It's,
Well, God is good.
it's a joke. It's not a bad thing. Courtney was there all the time. Leela, my daughter, who lived in Paris, came to take care of me. My brother, who's a hospital administrator in New York City, was there. My sister's a nurse, lives in Cleveland. She came out. So I was taking care of my family. Really lifted me up, including Courtney. So, it's a long way around to saying I think my family is my passion. But I'm not going to say cooking's my passion. I mean, it's something I love. I really like to do. I find it very, when I get home at the end of the day, I just like cooking. It's very relaxing. Until my wife Deborah doesn't show up on time, because I took the effort to make a hot meal,
Right.
and have it on the table, not in the oven warming,
Right.
so it's drying out, and then I really get I'm sorry.
No, so with that, one of the things you also said was, you spoke on the importance of sitting down at the dinner table and eating as a family. Can you speak to that and how it made your family, closer, or things that came out in the dinner table, understanding, like, what was the dinner table like for you?
I'll let you talk about our dinner table when you were growing up.
Oh yeah. No, it's different now than growing up.
No, I know.
There were no cell phones growing up, right? We didn't have distractions. The TV was off. After church, dinner with family, close friends, talking about the day. Now it's like we have to put all our phones away. It's all of us, not just
Yes,
me. It's
yes,
you too.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's more special now because, I'm a lot older. I have my own place with my husband and my daughter. And again, my dad was sick and he is better now. So I value the dinners more now.
Yeah.
And then my sister, Leela, when she comes home, it's even more special. My little brother, Nick.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we spoke about the shrimp from your brother. Now speak to the lamb burger that we're going to have tonight.
Oh yeah. All of these recipes are kicks my dad. Like for a year, he was obsessed with lamb. You were obsessed with ginger.
Yeah.
We also have a really good purveyor that we use.
Yes, you know, and it sounds weird. We were at an event for a charity, and it was mostly about. In fact, it wasn't not too far. I mean, it was along the Chesapeake Bay.
Okay.
And all these purveyors of fresh food and seafood from Virginia and Maryland, and we met this guy who's a shepherd who has a flock in Virginia. And you know, tried some of the lamb, and it was like I hadn't really had lamb before, because a lot of the lamb we get in this country is from either Australia or New Zealand, and look, it's cheaper. I mean, American lamb is more expensive, but I guarantee you, once you have it, it's like you've never had lamb before. At least as far as I'm concerned. So this guy sent me some lamb, you know, and so now I say, oh, I've got a shepherd, you know. It's like,
Right.
and you know, he's counting sheep every day, you know. So, but it's really good. So I you know, everybody loves a burger, especially in the summer.
Absolutely.
But looking for a different kind of burger, and with a different mouthfeel and a different, you know,
tasty.
putting some mint in it and some rosemary, and I love it. And you know, a lot of people who thought they didn't like lamb when I would have this. In fact, now I think Courtney would attest to this. When we do backyard barbecues, more often than not, the lamb burgers go before the beef burgers.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. All right, so that's a good one. I tasted it. It's delicious. Can't wait to let everybody taste it. And one of our last things is the chicken. So it's a fried chicken. You call it fried chicken 101. But it's topped with this delicious, spicy, sweet, hot honey curry sauce.
oh, I like how you all get together. Like,
I think that
bringing people together.
that was inspired by a close friend of ours, Marcus Samuelson. He's a great chef.
Oh, 2 hours in a row.
He does a lot of uses a lot of spices in his food. I'm not sure if was the Today Show Marcus's first TV thing. Is that why you guys are so close?
I think so. Yeah, I can't. It's been a long time, but before. Actually, it was he. And for those of you who don't know who Marcus Samuelson is, he's an Ethiopian chef who was orphaned and was adopted by Swedish parents, and raised in Sweden, and then came to New York and started working at a seafood restaurant called Aquavit, and you know, so and has become, you know, just a world-renowned chef. So he was on the Today Show early on, you know, coming in from Aquavit. So that's when we first met.
So the recipe's inspired from him.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. So as far as you, Chef Courtney, what's your next one? Got the cookbook out. I know you have, you know, a newborn. What does this tour look like for you? Like, is it a tour just for the cookbook out? Do you plan on going into like your own kitchens? Like, what's your goals with getting this cookbook out?
Well, our first goal is everyone buy 3 books.
Three.
And re-gift them. It's honestly like, this is my love letter. I know your beautiful face is on the cover, but it's my love letter. I don't really know what's next. I love recipe development. I'm very much into editorial work like Bon Appetit, Food and Wine, New York Times. That's my goal. So I'm not sure where this will lead. But I am happy. I cook. I have 8 clients. I cook for them every week. I have my own menus. Of course, the company I work for, we have a boss, but I don't. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like I'm doing it on my own.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. So we'll see what happens. This is the longest we've hung out together.
Yes,
That's great.
and we're still talking to each
We're
other.
still talking to each other.
So-
No, it's
That's
not.
the rise to
but-
what you said. Food brings people together.
Yeah, it does. But I think maybe not since like college
Yeah.
have we spent, you know, just the two of us, as a just the two of us.
Right.
I mean, because we've been traveling, and we've been on literally been on planes, trains, and automobiles. So those aren't pillows. That's on my hand. Anyway,
Right.
so it's been really fun, but it's been, I think, probably harder for you because this is the longest you've been away from Sky. But
Yeah, my husband's taking care of her at home, but she definitely notices when I'm gone.
Yeah. She's the
It's hard.
happiest baby. She
Yeah.
just is. She's just the best.
So for you, Al, like we talked about earlier, we've seen you on TV for a very, very long time and doing a lot of things. What is your next step? What does retirement look like for you? Is this your retirement run?
What the hell are you talking about?
Or you like,
I'm right here. I can hear you. Wow, did my coworker Dylan Dreyer put you up to this?
did not, but it was a
Okay,
question that got sent to me, so I'm reading it verbatim.
I'm not planning on retiring. Listen, I think that the thing is, look, my dad retired. In fact, he retired at 55. And other people, it used to be it was 65 and you're done. But I think in that what is that Al Pacino movie, Scent of a Woman? I'm just getting warmed up. I mean, I didn't
just
think
came
I'd be
on.
putting out a cookbook at 70 years old. And anybody's coming for me, I'm going to drop you like a bag of dirt.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we have some people in the audience.
As they said in what was that the Nutty Professor, it's a short walk over, but you'll be limping back.
Well, with that, I got a few people in the audience that want to come after you, so I think we're going to open up
Okay.
a few questions.
You bet.
For me, it's anything.
Pancakes in the morning.
Oh.
That's what I read.
Oh, pancakes.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't really consider that cooking. I mean, that's a
Tell us more.
yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on the mood. Sometimes I want something quick, like the pan-seared chicken thighs. Sometimes in the middle of winter, I want to do Danielle Boulud's braised. Not
Say the
that.
same thing.
I was going to say my mother's oxtail stew and dumplings. Because and you?
Well, I was going to say anything braised, like especially now, braised meats, 3 hours cooking, long, slow, short ribs, oxtail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Hi. Thank you. Well, listen, I think it also, listen, I'm very fortunate. I don't like to say I'm blessed, although I feel it, but because then people who don't have the same situation, I'm not trying to say you're not blessed, but I'm very fortunate that I've got family. The greatest gift they all gave me was that, to be perfectly honest, I had no idea how sick I really was. So I just thought, in fact, Deborah said, okay, I think he's going to be better when I kind of come out of one surgery. And I said, there was this recipe in the New York Times for a spatchcocked mayonnaise basted turkey. I'm going to make that for Christmas, And she said, okay, he's good. And the other thing, they were talking, they thought I was out, and they were kind of like, I could hear them all whispering like, oh, and I said, only positive thoughts, only positive thoughts. So that's you got to just move forward, and do the best you can. Or you can just yell from there. It's a long walk. How do I stay so darn funny? What? Why don't you tell them, Courtney? They don't, because they don't think I'm that funny. I don't know. I have no idea. It's like, it's like sausage. You like sausage, you just don't know or want to know how it's made. Well, I really don't know. I'd probably get it from my mom because she was very blunt, and just said things. There was no filter with my mother, it was like it hit her brain pan and boom, and like, what was it last week? And I thought I'm going to get in trouble for this one. 'Cause we were out on the plaza and we did a story about the comet that was out, Shinju, and I had a map, and it said Venus, and then and my co-host said, Venus? How do you even know where Venus is? Oh, it's just a little away from Uranus,
Oh, wait, on national television?
Yeah, on national TV.
That was a good one.
Yes, sir. What do I do to keep my mind strong? Which is, you're really assuming a lot. And well, I don't know. It's just, I'd love to say I've thought about this, but I think you just, like a lot of my grandparents, my mom and dad, they just did. You just do. You can overthink things, and I think that's part of the issue. You can go back and forth, and part of it too is, and it's something I've told Courtney, and I tell both of my other kids that, what, look, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to, you're going to make mistakes. But that's the only any great discovery, invention, anything is trial and error. Nobody steps into the batter's box and hits a home run their first at bat ever. You're going to swing a lot and miss a lot. But if you and you don't have to go for home runs. Singles and doubles win games too. So, like, the Yankees will win tonight.
We got the game on next door.
Oh, so how about this side of the room? We haven't. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Sorry. Well, I'll be honest with you. My grandmother, my mother's mother, was much older. So when I was growing up, she wasn't really cooking. So I didn't get that part of it. So whatever and my mother kind of was not heavily into Jamaican cooking. So I can't. I was closer to my Bahamian side than the Jamaican side. Now, this side of the room. Sure, right there. You have a bucket list. I would love to see Sky go into high school. After that, everything's gravy. So there's that.
Aw.
Yeah. Over there, that lady, this lady.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I think all of my grandmother's recipes, I feel like I had to master, and Deborah's recipes, because if those weren't right, she was going to come after me.
Yeah. It's not like she had a knife. But the beauty of it is that Courtney took it and simplified them, so that I would say maybe the two most, and I wouldn't even say complicated, but just labor intensive time wise are maybe the short ribs and the oxtail stew. Yeah, I would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Stu?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that would be it.
Miss Patty Jackson.
What would you say? 'Cause you're more the professional than I am.
Well, I have two. I would say patience and prepping everything out ahead of time. I feel like some people start a recipe without prepping anything, and it can get very chaotic very fast. So I'm all about mise en place. Like, look at the ingredient list, prep everything out, and just do step by step. I don't know, chef. If
Absolutely.
Way.
Yeah.
Plus, that's
That's what I learned from her, because I would find myself in the middle of a recipe and I just realized I didn't have everything I needed, or now I'm chopping and the chicken thighs are overcooking or something. So that's been the biggest thing.
what
I've
for you?
learned.
Oh, you too?
Oh,
Same
yeah,
thing? Oh,
from you. I learned that from you.
Okay.
So, after a while, you just, you just need to know. This young man over there by the wall. Well, we would, our, when we were, when the kids were smaller, we would actually go to church, and then we go to this restaurant, Fred's, in Manhattan. But for a Sunday dinner, I'm really a big fan of a roast chicken. And the roast chicken recipe in the book is from a woman, Judy Rogers, from the Zuni Cafe. She's since passed away, but out in Oakland, California, and it's just I think the best roast chicken you're gonna make. Oh,
this young lady.
I don't want any fistfights here. Okay, we're gonna
This
catch
is
you
really
right
back.
next, ma'am.
happens to be my mom
right
back there.
after somebody over here.
Yes, Mom. Go ahead, your question. It's from Mom June Kaza. Oh.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's very. Did I get to see an aurora borealis? There was just one 3 weeks ago that was spectacular. I didn't see that one, but I was actually up in northern Alaska just before the pandemic, and it really is awe-inspiring. It was mostly green. This one here, because of the abundance of nitrogen in the air, it was pinkish, more pinkish. But the one I saw was varying vibrant shades of green and dancing, and it was just like it was about 12 below zero, but you didn't feel it. You were just watching this, and it was we were out there for about an hour. It was just spectacular. Now the pink lady.
Lady.
Yes. Oh, congratulations. Yay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yay.
Okay. Sure. Right. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Well,
Let's see what you say.
well, I think it depends on the day. It really does. Some days, especially if it's a big group, no, I don't. But if it's just Deborah and myself, then I do. Yeah. Yeah. One of my big things is I usually use a cast iron skillet, but for certain things I like using a nonstick pan. And my biggest pet peeve is that Deborah will not use silicone utensils. So it's like seems like every 6 months I've got to buy a new pan because she scratched the darn thing up. So, but luckily she won't hear this. So. Do I have a pet peeve with? Yes, I hate people. It's just, I'm just putting up with you. It's just, no, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, he looks at, you know what? No judgment. Whatever works. Okay. Well, there you go. Security. Yes. Well, it's more about I don't know, moderation, portion control, or try to have portion control. Some days but yeah, that's that, and just trying. One of the great things that I've learned from my wife Deborah Roberts is I was one of those people that if I didn't get to go out and do 4 miles or an hour, then I was like, I'm just not going to do it. And the fact is, something is better than nothing. I got in on the Acela this afternoon about 3, I think, and checked in, and then decided I walked along the Brandywine Creek, and boy, gosh, is that beautiful.
Anybody stop you?
From going?
No, anybody stop you?
Oh.
Did you put a camouflage on, or?
No, nobody stopped me. Nobody knew. Nobody watches. But it was, and I mean, the fall leaves. It's just beautiful down
It's a
there.
beautiful walk.
And so I got 2 miles in, and boom, and back, and so I got my 10,000 steps, and I feel good. Listen, there are a few. I put in a few. You put in a few healthy recipes, just so we say we did. But
And you talk much about your family. You're a distant cousin of Lenny Kravitz. So would he try? What recipe would he try in your book?
oh gosh, I think maybe the peas and rice. I think so. I think and probably the oxtails.
Yeah.
I think.
He works hard for his,
he does.
his image.
Yeah, I mean, and let's face it, he's lifting 300 pounds wearing leather pants, so, which he stole from me. So never forgive him for that. All the way in the back there. Yeah, you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead.
I watched the Today Show. Don't tell Deborah that.
Well, she's not on GMA every morning, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asleep.
That's easy.
Mine is curry powder. I love Indian food, garam masala, cumin, coriander, all that type of stuff.
Smoked paprika and za'atar. Oh. I think we got time for a couple more.
Just one.
One more? Okay. That's your mom? Oh.
Me?
Yeah. Well,
Me and my child when she was in me, and my
and your husband.
And my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's some things I brought over for you.
Yeah, you did.
Chase.
Yeah.
But it was, again, he was sick. There was a lot of other stuff going on. Was it during the pandemic still? Like, was COVID still happening? I think so, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. It was just a lot of stuff going on, so I had to make the final
A lot of
calls
stuff
and
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I had knee surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, your son is great. Yes.
And
So
what?
You should be very happy. Her son.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's it for Chef Womack.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and transition to the book signing. So we're going to, Mr. Roker and Courtney want you to transition to the
Okay.
people here. And then we don't want
And by transitioning,
Stop.
Okay.
All right.
And we don't want everybody to bum rush up here and watch us. We're just gonna
The old bum rush.
just we're gonna form a single file line.
Before we go over there, I want to present Mr. Roker with something. Since he's here in the cookbook, I want to present him with the Oath 84 chef jacket.
Yeah. Hey now.
How's with everything?
Woo.
Well, we'll just form a line right here.
Them.
Hey, don't worry about it. No worries.
Quick picture.
Yeah.
All of us.
Chad. Picture. Yeah. But sorry, Roker. Hello. Hello. Huh?
What's the trap?
Okay.
Want to break the bottle?
All right, ready? Mommy. What? Oh yeah, Hurry up. He said, bring it up.
Run.
Take your time.
You have these people waiting.
Hey, how about the you said?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Go ahead.
Come on.
I'm right here. All right, ready? Look right.
Yeah. Well, right.
To the front. You get it. All right, more. That's it.
More.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'll take it. All right,
Okay.
I see you. All right.
Yeah. Let's hold that word. Hey, thanks. Yeah. I don't know. I'm in the bureau. All right. We will solve the problem. I'm the only one that's trying to.
No. So once everybody's finished the book signing, you could trickle in. It's kind of just a walkthrough tour of the space next door. But if you walk out the front door to the left, it's on 902 North Market Street. You'll see the doors open. You could walk and get a taste of what we were talking about earlier today, and see a quick little tour of the restaurant. All right, thank you. We don't have an official open date, but it'd be like middle of November. That's the goal. Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody.